I don't see how it's deleterious to my candidate at all, and I enjoy my cousin, and I enjoy the conversations we have, and now, I'll share them.
Now, what about, I mean, what was it like for her? I mean, actually living with a legend like Abbie Hoffman. I mean, was he I found him to be quite entertaining. It was good street theater.
The conclusion of that relationship with his death means that that's one of the things that I don't talk about.
Oh, okay.
Joanna,
it is sad. I mean, that was certainly someone, love of her life, all of that.
You betcha.
I don't have anything. I'm not running for president, so I can say I don't have anything against Abbie Hoffman. I thought he was always pleasant.
You told me you thought he was entertaining.
He's pleasant to me anytime I saw him, and I was just thrilled that I knew somebody famous but didn't know it.
You've told me that you really enjoyed Abbie taking off on rants against the Johnson family and the Watertown Daily.
He did some wicked rants against them, and it was like at the time they just didn't know how to deal with it. Because, of course, those kind of things were never said before. I thought anytime somebody speaks truth to power, I think it's fascinating. Now, I don't think he bombed anybody or hurt anybody, did he?
I'm not familiar with any bombing. I believe that there was some violence at the Democratic convention.
But that was Mayor Daley's police department, wasn't it? I mean, everybody was violent there.
Yeah, there was a little fighting back.
Yeah, well, that's one thing. Well, needless to say, Abbie Hoffman is probably not in the category of the unrepentant terrorist Bill Ayers.
Have you read Steal This Book?
No.
I'm gonna promote his book because I believe Joanna still gets royalties from that.
Really?
So go buy Steal This Book.
This is a classic type of. And I was praising the other day that story that Dave Champ. You know Dave Champagne, don't you?
Sure.
The story he did on that guy from Malone who was vice president.
Yes, it was a good story.
One of the few stories I ever read end to end, and it was great. This little connection between Wellesley Island and Bill Ayers, I think it'd be a great story for him to hop in his car and just drive up to Wellesley Island and talk to this lady.
You better do it pretty. Joanna's going to be leaving to go to warmer climes very shortly.
Yeah. Any chance you could line up an interview with me on this show? And I promise, as I always am, I'll be respectful. I won't try to embarrass her, and I'll be very nice to her.
We'll see.
I mean, if you could do that, I'd be eternally grateful.
We'll see.
Until next week.
No promises. Joanna, has her own schedule and her own.
And if they preferred TV, I would even ask. We could get either I'm sure Steve Weed would tape it for us, or we could get John Moore or something like that. I could do a guest newsman appearance.
For all I know, Joanna has her memories already written. She may be looking to market them.
And this would be a great way to do it before November 4th, too.
No, it may be.
Just leak a little tidbit out. Tidbits are good. It whets the appetite of the publishing industry. So, yeah, if you could work on that, Ted, I'd appreciate it.
Jeffrey, thanks.
Okay, and now you're still predicting Obama's winning.
Of course.
And you're predicting Albertine is winning?
I don't know that, but I do see a lot of smiles around the Albertine people, which would mean that I think the atmosphere is good there.
Okay, and
read into that any way you want to read into it.
Okay, and you were never in a job where you hired your sister, were you?
No, I don't have a sister, but
neither do I, so I can't be nailed on that thing either. And of course, you're also very concerned about the assembly race between Bobby Cantwell and Addie Jenny Russell, and you're on the Russell side of it.
Of course.
Okay, and you think she's going to win?
I would very much like her to win. I have no access to anything, and I'm probably too close to the campaign to actually be very detached.
Yeah, that's a tough race, because she certainly brings a good skill set to the table in terms of her background. On the other hand, this Bobby Cantwell has shown an exuberance and enthusiasm for seeking the office that you don't see too often in local politics. So much of it is, wait till the Long Island guys spend their $2 million on me, and then I'll run. But this guy got right in, and
they have a debate that I wish your radio station would cover the way they
would too.
Debates in the old days. Thursday night, it's Cantwell and Russell at the Northside Improvement League. Remember when there used to be a microphone in the middle of the floor and one at the table on the front, and you could tune in on WATN? Why don't you talk to Jim Levin about
I should. I remember when they built the broadcast center on Arcade Street. Of course you remember. You were there. And they built that big radio studio in the basement.
Right.
And for just those type of events. And it was just a wonderful day in broadcasting when broadcasters actually felt, hey, we gotta have these events on the air. And I'd love to see it happen. Now you're involved in actually helping out Addie Jenny Russell, right?
I am.
Senior advisor?
Tangentially.
And then
only tangentially.
One of your contemporaries, I guess, from your years in the news business, our good friend, the Karl Rove of Clayton, Carrie Brick, is helping out Bobby Cantwell, right?
I believe that to be true, although I haven't spoken to Carrie. I did see his letter in the paper, and it sounded like he wasn't actually central in the planning process, but he was certainly a supporter of Bobby.
Yeah. Well, I just think it's great that as you, reach retirement age and so on, everybody can dabble in politics.
Yes. You haven't retired. You're dabbling.
I dabble every day a little bit, and we try to do commentary here. Actually, on the presidential race, I think it's going to be very tough for John McCain to pull this out. I think he has to do a number on things tonight and, get things moving in the other direction. Doesn't need a knockout blow. MSNBC has already declared Barack Obama the winner of tonight's debate, but still, if he can land some punches, that'll start him on the road to recovery. I don't think it's a 14-point margin, but I don't think it's 4 either. And I think if it starts to get close, the media will double down on its efforts to elect one of their own.
Well, when the McCain campaign is registering in some polls at slightly over 40%, that really is a landslide. If you go below 40%, that's...
If Senator Obama got 55%, I would consider that a landslide in today's environment. There's no doubt about it, and I'm not going to, try to say something different. It certainly that would be the case as far as I'm concerned.
How about Renzi Aubertine tonight? They have a debate tonight.
They do, but no one will be watching.
Me? I'll watch it.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be streamed on Watertown Daily Times.
One last thing before you go. A lot's been said about McCain being what he said is so mean and nasty and a personal attack. I haven't seen it. I don't think it's... he had a couple people at a rally who said something, and he personally backed them down.
Well, frankly, I don't see it either.
I mean, I think that's just media nonsense. What is the hidden issue of this campaign? It happened with Hillary Clinton, and it's happening with Governor Palin, whether you like it or not. And it comes down to this issue of race trumping gender for liberal America. For those liberals for whom the gratification of all of their liberalism is electing a person of color to the White House, and they also want to do all the stuff for women's rights, but in this case, they seem more inclined to want to protect Barack Obama from any criticism than they do the women candidates. There have been instances with this Daily Kos and Obama rallies with people, chanting using the B word, in some cases the C word, related to Governor Palin. No outrage in the media about that.
Well, I would be outraged.
No one from the National Organization for Women coming out as Congressman Lewis did on the George Wallace comparison. None of that. And that's one of the things that I'm not black and I'm not female, but so maybe I don't have a dog in the fight, but I consider there to be a huge disparity in the attitude of liberal America towards those two constituent groups. And I'm just wondering if there will be any chafing along the way in the future.
Well, I haven't seen it in the media either, if the B or C word was used.
Well, now you got Larry Flint doing a parody movie, a parody sex movie.
That the progressives among us would be outraged at that, too.
I haven't really seen it. I mean, you look at your Daily Kos and your other left-wing blog sites, I see a demeanor there that suggests maybe the meanness is a little more confined to that side of the aisle.
Are the progressive blog sites going to support the progressive candidate? Of course they are. You wouldn't expect anything else, would you?
Yeah. Well, I guess. But it's the disparity I've noticed in this year's coverage. And, I appreciate you coming on so you could be the foil to my strange opinions. And, Ted, please.